Hello, everyone. My name is Janet Cooper, and welcome to my presentation slash discussion about redefining ethics and spirituality in the workplace. Originally, I had defined ethics as morals, values, beliefs that inform making the right or wrong decision. Normally, when I think about the word ethics, I think about right or wrong. But of course, we know that there's more to that. To give it context, we think about like our personal values and our beliefs in making those right or wrong decisions. And then with spirituality, I think about a connection to something that makes us feel whole or gives life meaning. Now, spirituality normally is attached to the word religion, but we know, and as some are learning now, is that spirituality is not just limited to religion. For me, my spirituality doesn't necessarily fall in line with just my Christianity. It also involves the work that I do. So, helping communities in need, working with children. And so, spirituality for me is also closely related to what I do every day, and that's working with kids, giving back, and making a difference. In redefining ethics and spirituality, ethics is a set of moral principles that are developed over time. So, according to the Ethics Center, it's a process of reflection in which people's decisions are shaped by their values, principles, and purpose rather than unthinking habits, social conventions, or self interest. Spirituality is not limited to religious practices. It can be described, according to Spahn, as a transformative urgency to the question of identity. Now, when we think about the word identity, isn't it interesting how we talk about that in ethics about reflection of people's thinking based on their values? So there's a connection there, which leads me to Spahn defines the alignment between ethics and spirituality as both terms being connected to sense of self. So that's the common thread between ethics and spirituality is the sense of self. Because with ethics, as I just reiterated, it's based on your beliefs and your values. In spirituality, you have the liberty to choose exactly what you're connected to. You have that choice. And then you figure out what gives you that sense of purpose, that sense of passion, that sense of fulfillment. So, in this case, it takes a lot of unlearning, especially for me, and I'm going to talk about myself. In my case, it took a lot of unlearning. And what I mean by that is understanding that spirituality is not just limited to religion. And that's something that I kind of knew, but then learning more about spirituality in this way, I never thought about it as being related to anything work related, right? So, removing that stigma. Spirituality can, in fact, be identified in the workplace and probably has been present throughout my career in various workspaces. And how I think about that is not just a colleague recommending yoga to staff when we are feeling overwhelmed, which is also an example, but also addressing in my meetings with staff about checking in. How are you feeling? I notice the morale is low. Checking in with that, making sure that the space is bright and colorful because I want to improve people's moods. So, spirituality is also very present even in my day to day interactions. Again, removing the stigma associated with spirituality and work. Ethics not being limited to the right or wrong decision, but in a more in depth way of processing your values and morals. Here are my references, and I'm excited about being in this course and learning more and more about the relationship between ethics and spirituality in the workplace. I thank you all for taking the time to be a part of my presentation, and I look forward to reviewing your discussions and presentations as well. Thank you. Thank you.